Good morning. Even though I started teaching almost 20 years ago, I still struggle to develop classroom assignments that are challenging students and preparing them for an ever-changing professional landscape. At times, perhaps like some of you, I've modified assignments from my time in school or followed ones taught by previous instructors. But as the discipline changes, different projects and assignments are needed, so I go looking for inspiration. I look through books, some of which will list an assignment but no outcomes. And then I look to galleries of student work or portfolios or schools, but then you have to reverse engineer the project. It's a lot of images, no descriptions. There's some good online resources out there, but those are largely for skill building, the lynda.coms, the Adobe Education Exchange. It's less about learning the process of graphic design and much more about, picking up a particular skill. And that's important, but not what I'm looking for necessarily. So enter the AIGA Design Teaching Resource. This is an online resource where design educators can create and share assignments, both successful and not, with fellow educators. The DEC proposed this resource to the AIGA back in 2013. They liked the idea, but at the time there was no funding. We're pleased to announce that this summer, the AIGA has awarded the DEC an Innovate grant to build out this teaching resource. We want to thank AIGA, and in particular, Julie Annixter, who's been a fierce advocate for design education. We want to thank Corey Straussman and the Innovate Selection Committee for generously supporting design education. The resource goals are lofty. We want to build a community for educators, provide inspiration and actionable information for all of you, foster connections and collaborations, perhaps between programs and educators, support you in new areas of the discipline, identify experts teaching in those areas. The assignments themselves, or the case studies themselves, we built a prototype in 2013. The visual design and architecture are being refined, but each project module, as we call it, consists of 3 key parts: the assignment, the outcomes, and the reflections. The assignment portion is sort of what you'd expect. It's the project details. It's the brief that you give your students. It includes the learning goals, the schedule, grading criteria, deliverables, any resources or references that you might have, books, websites, people that you want to refer them to. Then there's a portion, the outcomes, and these are images of the final work. And we're visual people, so we want to be able to see something that goes with it. This could be video, this could be process images. What I'm showing you here are examples from the 2013 prototype that was built, so these are going to get updated. And then finally, the most important part of each case study, which is the reflections, and that's from you, the educator, what worked well, what didn't. This doesn't exist in other resources out there, and it's going to require some humility from some of us to sort of highlight the successes and pitfalls of each project. Project categories and tags are going to be obviously extremely important now as we start to deal with more complexity. The 2025 trends definitely have to be integrated, and this resource is going to become incredibly important for us as we begin to potentially teach projects or refine class assignments and teach in a different way. So who will benefit? Well, hopefully all of us, but the entry-level educators who are new to education and maybe haven't written up assignments, seasoned educators like myself looking for inspiration, professionals, designers who teach part-time, educators in small programs, and then anyone who's teaching in a new class. And this last one is particularly important because, as many of you may know or may be dealing with, administration is trying to cram different classes in, but potentially not giving us new faculty hires. So you're having to teach things like maybe interaction design or a class that you've maybe never taught before. So this is going to be a really important asset. So why participate? Well, sharing is caring. We want you to just share your success stories. It's increased visibility for you and your program, potential recognition as an expert in a certain area, information design, data visualization. It could lead to possible collaborations with other educators, and basically a richer dialogue with your peers. Long-term value and additional features that we hope to build in, highlighting trends within the discipline and design education, helping programs address curricular development, tenure references, syllabi guidelines, grading rubrics, Renowned educators' historical projects might come in. This resource is not intended to be a mandate for design educators in any way. We recognize that every program is unique and you all have your own curricular needs. It's really meant to inspire you, connect, prepare, and provide for educators. The schedule as it stands, the Innovate grant was awarded this summer. The visual design and architecture are being evaluated now. Prototypes will be built and tested in the winter, populated in the spring, and launched for next summer. I will be partnering with the Dubberly Design Office. I'm really excited that they are going to be the ones building the actual tool. How can you all get involved? Well, we need you to start thinking about your case studies, not just for launch, but for testing as well. So you can visit the DEC website under Initiatives and find an article that links to a Google Doc that you can put in your name and your email. And we really need a better name for the resource because design teaching resource is pretty boring. This tool will only be successful if all educators are engaged and contribute. AIGA is making an investment in design education and in us as educators, so we really need everyone's involvement to make this a success. It won't be useful if only a few of you participate. So at this conference, we've heard a lot about collaboration, sharing ideas, making mistakes, taking risks, and having humility. So let's take all of that and build a really great community resource for all of us. We all need it. You can get involved by visiting the DEC website. We'll keep you posted. Updates are there. You can come find me. Happy to pass along my business card, visit the booth. We can give you more information there. But really, start planning those case studies. You all have your 5 best projects you've assigned over time, and that's going to be really important for this. Thank you.